Welcome to another episode of the Chain Gang. And last time we discussed about what a blockchain was. And then we said, okay, it's a database, it is decentralized, it's immutable, and it's very transparent. Now, if you take those four things, or these four things together, then you can also understand why it could be so very interesting technology and why it is such a very interesting technology for manufacturing companies and for logistical companies. Just to give you two examples. First of all, logistical company. If you look at a harbor, a lot of containers are actually coming from overseas, coming into a harbor. There are goods in there. They are with trucks or with ships brought inland and to the point of a certain customer. Now, if you work as a harbor or as a company with a blockchain, you can actually follow the trace of such a container from its point of origin till it arrives, for instance, your factory. Makes it not only easier and very clear to your customers from where are my goods coming from, which stops have they made, and how do they come to the final customer. If you have cacao, if you have, for instance, cacao, and you want to make sure that it's traceable, and you want to make sure that you can show, okay, my cacao was made in a very sustainable way, was created and grown in a very sustainable way. This is something that you can do. You can use the blockchain to show from, okay, this is the way that it went from growing till you cacao milk, for instance. If you look at manufacturing and you look at your car, then you can bring all the parts from all over the world. They are all traced via the blockchain, and then they bring up your car. And you as a customer who buys the car, or you as a manufacturer who created the car, you can actually see from, okay, I know exactly where every part in the world comes from. And especially, for instance, in the aerial industry or in the airplane industry, this is very interesting. When an accident happens, this way it becomes for the inspectors very, very easy to track from, okay, what do we see? What do we see in the debris? And what do we see in the blockchain with all the parts? Where do they come from? Do we see something special? Do we see something that we can explain? And if yes, and a certain part is a problem, then you can, via a blockchain, for instance, also track from, okay, there were 50 parts manufactured at the same site at the same day. One has a critical failure. You need to check those 49. Now, most of these things are also gathered in databases. But like I said, a lot of times they are not in decentralized databases. They are in centralized databases. When the shit hits the fan, as they say it, and an accident happened with an airplane, well, maybe somebody who knew about the problem will tamper with that database because it was centralized. When it's decentralized, it becomes a lot harder to tamper with it. And the same thing gives for the example when we talk about logistics, about cacao. When it's centralized database, there's always somebody who can try to do something so that something looks maybe sustainable, but it is not sustainable. Those are the advantages that you actually start using when you talk about the blockchain in manufacturing and we talk about the blockchain in logistics. I hope it gave you a little bit of two very low-level examples and use cases of the blockchain in a manufacturing and logistical environment. Next time, we will go further into Web3 and into the blockchain in other areas. Hope to see you then. Don't forget to link to us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram. And don't forget to use those thumbs. Bye-bye.